Hey folks, Joe here. I want to be honest with you about something here. Up until very recently, my walk has not necessarily matched my talk when it comes to accessibility. And there are two reasons for that. Okay. Number one, my priority list is constantly reshuffled every day. Okay. To deal with urgent client issues, student issues, business matters in general. My schedule changes constantly, even though I book things in advance. So the accessibility improvements for my own site, for example, that have been on that list for almost a year now, keep getting pushed back to the bottom of the list. The second reason that my walk has not matched my talk about accessibility is that my site in particular is in such shambles, okay, after two major issues that screwed up all my tags and all my color style designations and a host of other things, that I literally didn't know where to start. And most of what I'd read about process and procedure made it sound like, this was going to be a daunting, time-consuming, expensive task. Even though someone else is going to be doing the work, I still have to devote time, to managing it and overseeing design and being involved. So again, it gets pushed down to the bottom of the list. I've been limping along with the site I have for some time. It just felt like, too huge a task, no matter who was doing the work. So about a month ago, I'm having a casual conversation with Pictionary, who some of you know. And we were talking about something else entirely, okay? And she started telling me about this course that she had taught about accessible typography. And my ears perked up, okay? The typography nerd in me, because I was a typographic geek from the time I studied graphic design in the 80s, perked up. So she was like, yeah, we got huge immediate gains in terms of accessibility just by focusing on typography. So I'm like, wait, what? Like, you need to explain this to me. So she explained it, how font and styling choices you make paired with semantic HTML essentially got you more than a few miles down the road and greatly improved perceivability, usability, functionality of content, especially with assistive devices. So I'm not kidding you when I say I was floored. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. This sounds too easy. It sounds much simpler than anything I assumed I would have to do. And what's more, the thing that kept ringing in my head was like, this is something that we're touching anyway, right? I've been thinking about redesigning this site for a while. And I'm thinking to myself, well, we're going to go through that work anyway. So you're telling me that I could do some things a little differently and make a lot more progress. So after she told me more about it, I said, look, I would love to help you, to partner with you in some way to do this again. Okay, let's do a class. Let's do some sort of live event, because I've never heard anything like this, right? Tell me how I can help. So a few weeks later down the road, we did last week's free webinar. And now we've got a 3-day masterclass that's happening next week. So, here we are. Casual conversation. What I thought was going to be tremendously difficult turns out is a hell of a lot easier. So why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you all this because the world in general, and this industry, UX product design in particular, is full of bullshitters. Okay, you guys have heard this from me before, all right? But there are all these all or nothing proponents that insist that if you don't do it their way, it's the wrong way. If you don't do all these things, then nothing is worth doing. All right. And there are also a lot of people talking about accessibility right now, unfortunately, who quite frankly make shit up. All right. They convince people that this stuff is going to work in order to get their money, right? In order to sell a course, in order to sell a workshop or whatever. And it just doesn't work. And then those UX folks and product designers learn the hard way that none of that shit actually works. So if you know me, you know just how much that kind of stuff bothers me. And you also know that I don't ever pretty much put my name on anyone else's anything for those same reasons. Okay, this is different, mainly because I've known Peachia personally for years. Okay, I know her character, I know her integrity, and I know both of those things are completely off the chart. I know that she doesn't ever say or do anything that she doesn't believe in 1000%. I know that, like me, she's only ever interested in getting to what actually works and saying, fuck everything else. So my message to you today is this. The masterclass that we're doing next week, the Better Accessibility Through Typography Masterclass, is not like anything you've ever seen or heard. Okay, it really isn't. It cuts through the hype, through the confusion, through the bullshit around accessibility improvement, and it takes you straight to a clear, repeatable, simple process that makes things better immediately. No hype, no promises. It works. All right. I believe that to the core of my being. So if you're struggling with accessibility or accessible design in any way, on any front, I strongly suggest that you do two things. Join Pisha and I next Monday for a free Ask Me Anything live, Monday, June 24th. Details are on your screen and in the video description. It's free. You can ask any questions you have, and we will absolutely give you answers to anything you want to know. So check that out first. The second thing is take a minute to check out the Masterclass as well, which is also on your screen, the URL on your screen and in the video description. Again, I would not be here bending your ear about this if I didn't really believe that it was something truly unique and truly useful. Come hang out with us Monday and see for yourself. Thanks for listening.